Here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. So, again, the idea isn't about taking over the show from the states or anything like that. Obviously, California has done a great job at purchasing assets as far as firefighting, aviation firefighting, and they're to be thanked for that, and they're to be given that credit. But again, the idea is we need a certain system in place that works. If the system was working up to the level that we needed, we wouldn't have had it happen the way it happened. Again, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody as far as whose fault that it didn't happen the way we need it to happen. California could actually have the best system in the nation, but that doesn't mean that it worked. You understand how that works? Again, this is how I do my military stuff. A little bit of chai there, a little bit of HB, what is it called? HB1 or those, what are those things called? Jesus. HB1. A little bit of HB1 chai here. Been drinking chai all week. That's how I got through COVID. So again, when we get to actually government operation, I don't know if you would call it government operation. Government's so screwed up, it isn't at the level of what I'm explaining, and that process of improving government. But when we get to that rubber meets the road, it has to work. We can't play politics. We can't point fingers. We have to make it work. So in that world, it doesn't matter what you have. If it doesn't work, it didn't work. Right. So I know systems, and I know how systems work. And I know how chain of command works and all of that. And I know how to power something. So when you say U.S. Fire Chief, that has power, metaphysically. So we create the U.S. Fire Chief and the U.S. And the Deputy U.S. Fire Chiefs. And within that system is all the U.S. arsenal, but yet we also catalog what everybody has. So you have this great Air Force. Gavin Newsom has the firefighting Air Force, the greatest firefighting Air Force in the world, I believe. If you listen to what they're saying, I think that's really where it is. I mean, they didn't say that, but theoretically that might be the truth as far as a state entity. But he didn't have it on time, on target. And again, I'm not here to point fingers because I think probably they have the best system going. They just have the biggest issue going also, the biggest problem to fix. So another set of eyes, another set of ears. So you have you have also other staff, but you have your U.S. Fire Chief eyes and ears and staff. You have Deputy U.S. Fire Chief for that region. I guess it would be Southwest U.S. So that you have those eyes and ears and their staff. So what happens? It doesn't fall through the cracks as much. Something fell through the cracks. It's obvious. Okay, and that happens. Again, we don't have the system that I'm explaining. That's why I brought it up beginning maybe 10, 15 years ago. I can't remember all of this. And again, they've tortured me pretty good for the last few years. I couldn't even break through to go get massage therapy and like a corticosteroid shot. I may have been healed and been able to walk normal and all of that. I've been walking off kilter and cramped up, and it's just horrible. I mean, waking up it's hard to do, especially in this type of scenario when you're 60 years old. And they've been holding your mind that level of hostage since you were like 56. I mean, you owe me money. You better get off at least $1 million and give it to me. I'm just telling you that right now. God is not going to rest until he destroys all of you. Thank you, Larry. You better get off it quick. We're not going to sit around and say, well, we have to discuss this. It's over. You've pushed that out there for years. I was never paid. Everybody else was paid. These jokers were paid so that I wouldn't be paid. We'll just keep the curses going until this thing's done. Thanks, man. So the reality is that we need to do it. It's good optics, great optics. And we're going to have some extra eyes and ears. We're going to have protocols. We're going to get this thing ironed out so that this never happens again. I mean, there will be fires, but I don't believe that had to be anything, to tell you the truth. And again, the biggest proof is the filming of the flights from LAX show how there's nothing there, nothing battling that fire from the air. So you have the greatest Air Force in the world that was not where it was supposed to be at that given time, and that's why the Pacific Palisades fire got so big. Again, you don't have a system in place that fixes that. And I've been around a long time trying to get something like this going. And a simplistic way of saying it is a fire in EMS NORAD. I can't remember. There were some audio presentations. I have no idea where they're at. There were some more also. There's also some posts that were erased. So we'll do it. I know I contacted the U.S. Fire Administration also, telling them that we should try to focus in an operational direction. So again, the difference of administrative and operational. It's just how it has to go. It'll work perfectly. It's just like, we have the department. I mean, just think what we have in defense. You have the Department of Defense. We have Secretary of Defense. We have the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We have all these eyes and ears and these backup people and well-minded people minding the operation forward. We just need to get that way with the fire and rescue. It's just too dyslexic, too unregulated as far as response. We need a national response, and it needs to happen before. Yeah, it's just like so ludicrous. I see it all the time. It's like, oh, okay, let's go run to the fire, and well, we could have ran to something and not had the fire maybe, and that would have been true probably with the Pacific Palisades fire. So the water is an issue, but it's almost a red herring because we have something else that was more important, and that was our aviation response. That would have kept us. And then, of course, we have the what was it? Was it a fire that rekindled? So again, I've been speaking about fire drones for years. So we need fire drones to keep an eye on certain locations. So what I think you're going to find, and again, I'm connected with some fire people that may actually have